Hello, yes, thank you very much for staying with us once again. I don't know about you, but then when I check my Twitter feed, in fact, when I check the trends, what is trending for me, Thomas Partey is trending number one on Twitter for me, and then Mohamed Kudus is trending number three on Twitter for me. But if you are talking about sports alone, then Thomas Partey number one, Mohamed Kudus number two on sports. I'm going to talk to you about why Thomas Partey is trending on Twitter. And in fact, it is after Arsenal Football Club scored or won the game 1-0 over Manchester City. The first win for Arsenal in 12 games versus Manchester City. And all of that was masterminded by Thomas Partey. We are going to talk about Thomas Partey, his importance, how important is he in the Arsenal midfield, and how going forward he can help Arsenal Football Club to achieve the dream they've always wanted, winning the league and going very far in the UEFA Champions League and possibly winning it. We will also talk about Mohamed Kudus. For Mohamed Kudus, West Ham fans have started calling for Kudus to start in their games. They say that look, he should start him more. Mohamed Kudus has to show himself more in the West Ham team. If you take the West Ham team, Mohamed Kudus is the third highest scorer, okay, in the West Ham team. He's with 3 goals in all competitions. The highest scorer of the West Ham team is having 5 goals. The next one have 4 goals, and then Mohamed Kudus is having 3 goals. So Mohamed Kudus, even though he doesn't get a lot of playing time, he has played fewer games, started even very few games, but he's the third highest scorer in the West Ham team. With more playing time, is he going to score more goals for West Ham United or not? West Ham fans are calling that he should be starting. We are going to talk about that and dissect into all of that on this channel. Please do what we do it, this and many more on this channel. So subscribe to the channel if this is your first time watching us. If you've not subscribed to the channel, do what to subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit the notification bell and select all. Leave your thoughts and comments below in the comment section if you have any. It's always a pleasure to have you join us. Thank you very, very much for staying. So let me go straight to the point and let's talk about Thomas Partey. So Thomas Partey went for in fact, he got injured for some time now, for some weeks now. He has been out of the Arsenal Football Club and he's not playing for them because of injury. So he got fit some few weeks ago and has been part of the Arsenal squad. And this time, Mikel Arteta decided to let him play part in a very crucial game Arsenal was playing versus Manchester City. Now, let's give some background. For 12 games running, Arsenal have not gotten, in fact, it's even difficult for them to get a point. They've always been losing to Manchester City, and that has become a block, a mental block for the Arsenal manager, the Arsenal team, and the supporters. Because how can, in fact, since Mikel Arteta came as a coach of Arsenal, he has beaten every team in the English Premier League except Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. Man City was the only team Arsenal and Mikel Arteta is here to beat. So beating that team yesterday was a very important one for Arsenal Football Club, and nobody should bring the excuse of there is no Rodri and all of that, because Arsenal also missed equally important players in the shape of Saka as well as Thomas Partey and the others. Now, let's talk about why Thomas Partey. He's trending because of this pass Thomas Partey gave. And that is what I've always, you see, I talked to you guys about when Arsenal went away to win versus Everton, and a lot of people on Twitter were like, oh, Thomas Partey can be sold. Thomas Partey should be sold. Declan Rice is busting the midfield of Everton. Last season, Thomas Partey failed to bust the midfield, to control the midfield of Everton, and we lost there. This season, Declan Rice is doing that. Thomas Partey, we don't care, he can go. And I came here and told you that. What? Which fans are saying those things? Because I don't understand. Now, we've come back to what I was saying. Look, Arsenal fans should get it in their everything. You should understand that Thomas Partey is an important figure of the team, whether you like it or not. And this is the past. I'm sure everybody have watched it over and over again. Thomas Partey sent a one pass from the midfield straight to the attack of Manchester City to split their high line they are playing. That is the first thing Thomas Partey did. He actually splitted the high line of Manchester City. And you see, when the cross went to Tomiyasu, you saw that clearly the defense of Manchester City were struggling to deal with that situation because they just didn't know how to move. Ake didn't know whether he has to attack it. Diaz don't know. So the defense of Manchester City were just confused because of one intelligence, Thomas Partey. One intelligence, single intelligence. So Thomas Partey gives the ball to Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu also does very well to head the ball with control to Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz drops the ball to Gabriel Martinelli before Martinelli's kick that deflected into the goal. Look, this is a beautiful one for Thomas Partey. And that's the reason why he's trending on Twitter. When you go, in fact, up to now, the game was played yesterday. Up to this time, Thomas Partey is still trending. People are still talking about that pass. Arsenal fans in the UK, all over the world, are talking about this pass, and that is what Thomas Partey is made of. I'm not saying Declan Rice could do that or not, but then I'm saying that Thomas Partey is just a special player. You can have both Declan Rice and Thomas Partey, and that is it. In fact, somebody, if you are looking at my screens, you see the tweets people have been saying, and one of them said that, look, if it was just any normal DM, they would just pass the ball to somebody closer to them, and that would be all. But this is Thomas Partey. Long balls, pinpoint. He targets the players, locates them, and then sends the ball to them. That is a quality play for Thomas Partey. And he only didn't give this pass. In fact, he actually controlled the midfield of Arsenal when he came on. Yes, it wasn't only about this pass, but when the time Thomas Partey was, in fact, the time this substitution was made, Thomas Partey, Kai Havertz, Tomiyasu, that three substitutions, it was the time Manchester City were taking over the game. In fact, Manchester City had also brought on John Stones and the likes. So they were taking over the game. And Jorginho's leg, he had a tired legs. He just couldn't do it again. So they needed somebody in the shape of Thomas Partey. Even coming back from long-term injury, he needed one moment to tell everybody around Arsenal that, look, I am back. And whether you like it or not, you need me for your league fight. And that is a beautiful one from the Black Stars player. So I am so proud as a Ghanaian to be talking about Thomas Partey, because he always proves us right, especially in the Arsenal jersey. But Ghana Black Stars will be playing versus the United States of America on the 17th of October. But before that, Mexico will face them on the 14th of October. And I am sure Thomas Partey will be doing more of these things for Ghana Black Stars as we go on. Now let's talk about Kudus Mohammed. He also scored a fantastic goal for himself, for the team West Ham United, as they drew the game 2-2 versus Newcastle. Now, this West Ham United fan, a very young West Ham United fan, speaking about the game, and she says that, whether she or he, I don't know. He says that, look, David Moyes should be giving Mohamed Kudus time to show himself in games, more time to show himself in games, because Kudus cannot he cannot be benching Kudus like that. And the fact is that Kudus cannot be coming on like in the 85th minute and all of that. And a lot of West Ham fans, if you've monitored Twitter and other social media handles, you see that they are saying that, look, Kudus Mohammed is a very key player. He scored a lot of goals for Ajax, even in the UEFA Champions League, in very difficult competitions and games. He scored fantastic goals for Ajax, and so he should be given more time to showcase himself. And how can I say that I don't agree with this? How can I say that I don't agree with that? I perfectly agree with it. Kudus Mohammed should be given a lot of time to showcase himself, and that is the fact. Because look, just like I said in my intro, he's the third highest scorer for West Ham United today. Nobody, none of the name, in fact, Jared Bowen and then Susek are the two players who have scored more goals than him, and then Kudus Mohammed comes third. Even with that, he's not getting a lot of playing time. Yesterday he came to play just 21 minutes, and West Ham United voted him as their best player on the pitch. Can you imagine? A player stays out of the bench for about 70 minutes, comes onto the pitch, and then he plays 21 minutes, and then he's voted the man of the match. So imagine that you've given this player 70 minutes to play. Just imagine you've given this player 90 minutes of football to play. So David Moyes should start doing something. If he has to drop somebody for Kudus to play, he should do that. If he has to play all his Arsenals together, he should do that. Yes, there can be the argument that a good team is as good as its bench. The fact that Kudus Mohammed comes from the bench to make a difference is very good, and we should keep that. No, all of those things are good, but just look at your player. you see that this player is so good that look, he has played fewer games but scoring goals. His end product, in fact, dribbles, assists, and everything. He's just so good when it comes to doing something in the final third. So why don't you start this player more? Why don't you? In fact, he's one of the highest the players West Ham have spent the most to buy the purchase. The highest purchased player by West Ham. You get a point. So I don't know why this should be out of place. David Moyes should find a way to start Kudus Mohamed and play him in most of the games he has been playing. Over the weekend, Mohamed Kudus became the 17th different Ghanaian international to score in the Premier League. The record of the most goals by a Ghanaian in the competition is 33. Do you think Kudus Mohamed can surpass that? Let me know your thoughts, comments in the comment section. Yes, Kudus can score more than 33 in the Premier League. Yes, Kudus can. No, Kudus cannot. Let me know all of that in the comment section. Enes Nyama is another fantastic Black Stars player who scored his first goal for Lyon, but then they ended up drawing the game 3-3. This is what he had to say about the game. He said that just getting started, although we didn't get the results every game is a step forward to find the growth and unity. Let's keep pushing forward to bounce back stronger. That is Enes Nyama, what he's saying about the goal he scored as well as the draw Lyon had. In fact, they are still struggling in the French Ligue 1, like I've always told you. They are second, last but one on the league log, and it's very sad over there, but they will come back stronger. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit the notification bell on select, or leave your thoughts and comments below in the comment section if you have any. It's always a pleasure to have you join us. I'll see you in the next update. Bye bye.